And you've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
Take us back to that beginning, you entering the industry, even while you're a student.
I was fortunate to be in an art environment at a very young age. My mom knew that I was interested in being a performer. And in my second year, I started working at Word of Mouth Pictures.
What was that period like of playing Nicki?
Rhythm City was such an amazing show. I had no idea I was living in my prime. I had no interest in kind of being famous. I was lucky to be acting with such an amazing ensemble cast. Now I kind of know that where I want to play is behind the scenes. You know, like you can't be Nicki forever. Within like 3 months, I had my first drama.
First time, you're a producer, you're in the thick of things.
That was a big learning curve for me. What happens is when you come on set, it's like, Nicki batlang mo. And my language for producing came out of working on Mobango. I learned the most and work with people that you're gonna learn from. Don't be intimidated by that.
True.
You have to create work for yourself and you have to create work for other people. And don't wait until you have no choice but to do it. Jump before you get pushed.
I'm an African. Are you African? I'm an African. Everybody's an African. Feels good, right? Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. I'm from the continent of refugees and rebels, where minds are richer than all rupees and marbles. Life at its best, view it from all angles. No longer do we wear shackles, but life's bangles. AIDS increases, the poverty's inevitable. Where flowers blossom every day in hard grovel. Traditional acts just brings out the marvel. In every African's heart filled with sorrow. Wait for tomorrow, but the road remains narrow. African minds sharp like bow and arrow. We aiming for higher places, man, I tell you. Communication through rhythms until I see you. I'd like to thank God, I got loose like thoughts.
Welcome to another epic episode of Filmatic. Today we are thrilled to welcome a creative force who's been shaping stories in her own bold, fearless, and unrelenting way. Her name is Nolo Phiri. From commanding the screen as the unforgettable Nicki in Rhythm City to crafting narratives behind the screen in Movango, Eostela, Grown Women, and Umkoka, her fingerprints are on some of South Africa's most defying stories. She's an actress, a producer, a mentor, and a force to be reckoned with. So let's turn the spotlight on this mastermind behind the magic. Please welcome Nolo Phiri.
Hey. What an intro.
I had to. It's you.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Are you good?
I actually am. It feels so good to actually mean that.
You ready to get into this?
Yes. I've been so excited to.
I know for sure. Let's get this party started. Oh man, you're finally here.
Yes.
I'm trying to get you here. It's good to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Like for real.
When I'm wondering how to kind of jump back and forth. I mean, you're an actor, you're a producer.
Yeah.
And you've been at this for a while, actually. And what I know about you is that it's like you've been on your own for a while, taking care of yourself for a while. Please take us back to, because I know even behind the scenes on Movango or Word of Mouth or whatnot, take us back to that beginning, you entering the industry, even while you're a student.
Yeah. Man, I've had to learn to curate the story so that it's not, like a sequel. But I think I've always been very lucky to attract people who want to place me.
Okay.
Right? So I was fortunate to be in an art environment at a very young age, going to the National School of the Arts and having, support from my family saying, hey, listen, there's something, we see in you. So let's endorse this thing. Because I grew up quite academic and whatnot, right? And I got to the National School of the Arts and I was busy doing painting and photography. But, you get an opportunity to see like the essence of creativity, right? Yeah. Whether it's through dance, whether it's through drama, whether it's, and you get to meet like-minded people and you get very intimate with what it means to be an artist and a creative. And that thing is, once that seed is planted, like a lot of other people water it for you. And I think that's what happened to me at that age. So by the time I got to the end of matric, even though I was doing fine arts, well, not necessarily fine arts, but I was painting and I was doing photography and I was in that kind of discipline.
Yeah.
I had an agent at that time because my mom knew that I was interested in being a performer, you know. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to just kind of explore. So then I got to Wits School of Art. And the environments that helped me move along kind of helped me shape myself in a way that I attracted people that saw something in me. So for the longest time, I don't think I had a language or understood what it is that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when I got to Wits, I met lecturers who were like, oh my goodness, it's so amazing what you're doing. Maybe let's pull you in behind the scenes. Let's do this, let's do that. And in my second year, I started working at Word of Mouth Pictures. And it was a very funny story. I went to an audition because I was selling earrings at Wits School of Art because I needed to make money because I had a very tumultuous relationship with my mom.
Okay.
So being independent was something that I just, it's something I had to do. Right?
Yeah.
So being in first year and understanding that studying art and being like a drama student is quite a risky thing to be doing, right?
Yeah.
So at that particular time, I wanted to have a little bit of my leg in the industry. I knew I was doing well as a drama student in my first year because my lecturers told me, and I could feel it. I could feel there was something special. I've always had a great sense of like my essence.
I hear you.
Yeah, even if I wasn't confident enough to say that to myself. I always felt very confident that what I was here to do, purely because of how it touched and it moved and I got responses from people. And by the time I got to Mobango and I had a very small part on my last day of shoot, I must have had three calls. Dr. Duma Ndlovu. Yes, let's get it right.
Shout out.
He was directing that day, and then he was like, "Hey, have you been acting here?" Oh, okay, cool. Listen, what's your name? And so I was like, yeah. And he's the kind of guy. Firstly, he has a genius for recognizing talent.
Okay.
And he, made himself known to me. And that opened my eyes because I was like, oh, hang on, who is this guy? 3 months later, he wrote a longer character for me. So I started, getting a little bit intimately exposed to a television set.
While you're in school?
While I was in school.
Okay.
And that's very important to kind of highlight because when you are a film student and you're at Wits School of Art, they teach you to color outside the lines, right? Be creative, and it's quite academic, and there's a lot of disciplines, and there's all these big ideas out there. And Wits is more theoretical than it was practical. I think we started getting our hands dirty with like cameras, maybe the second quarter of the first year.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
So we were, I think they were still like challenging us. And do you really understand what the craft entails?
I hear you.
So I think a lot of us just wanted to get on stage and act. And it was like, no, there's a whole discipline here. Okay. There's like a whole movement of that goes into this particular craft.
I hear you.
Yeah. So I think I had a window seat to understanding what was being taught in varsity with what it actually looked like, because broadcasters have a mandate. Yeah, so they have, while you are trying to tell all kinds of stories, when you get to a broadcaster, they want to reach a particular audience. They want to talk, they want stories that speak to a particular kind of people, And I feel that there was a disconnect with making my experience at Wits understand that. Yeah.
I hear you.
So I was able to kind of draw a parallel to say, oh, hang on, this is what's happening at the SABC. Okay. And what I'm being taught in my institutional environment is to play. And I think that's also quite an important skill to be able to have. But you need to marry, how do you channel it? How do you make sure that once you understand and you're comfortable with playing, you're able to use it in the real world? Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's and then from there, so you are at Muvhango, you are on screen.
Yeah.
Purely on screen, not behind.
At that time, it was just like I had a small character called Dineo. So it was like a C storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a C storyline. So I hadn't really gotten an opportunity to be anchored in the production space. So when he then wrote me a longer storyline when I came back 3 months later, that's when my opportunity of accessing production started happening, because then he knew of me. He knew that I was studying to be an actress. So conversations, and in fact, I went to his office once because by the time I had been acting on the show, and by the way, for me, being on TV at that time meant nothing for me in terms of like fame. And coming back to your question, I needed to pay my fees.
Yeah.
I had to look after myself. So immediately when I got that part, it was like, yes, now I have money to pay this year. Now I have money to get myself accommodation and stay in the environment that I believe I'm called for. So for me, that was my priority. I had no interest in kind of being famous. And I felt that the character that I had didn't really have that mileage for me to blow up. So I wasn't, I was acting with people at the time where I was like, whoa, Florence Maseba, whoa, all these people that I had watched, because Limpopo is quite big. I mean, Mbang was quite big in Limpopo, and I'm from, I'm from Limpopo. So I watched it from the get-go, where the coffin just would not go down. You know what I mean? So for me, that story was close to me in that way. And it was just, it was me having a very close seat to some of those actors. But then I got closer to, oh goodness, what does this person do? Oh, what does that person do? And really seeing how it works in the real world. So, he was able to then take me into that and say, I think that you have probably a lot more mileage in production. So if you're okay, let's take you off screen and let's train you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then where does the stage of, all right, I've grown enough here at word of mouth, now it's time for the next step?
Interestingly, I think he was such a very critical part in my life, because he saw a lot of things in me that I didn't at that time.
Yeah.
So if he said, you have an essence to write, I explore writing. If he said, listen, let's go direct, let me teach you multi-cam directing, So I got to a point after 5 years of being at word of mouth that it started feeling like I did not know what I wanted to do. Yeah, I had been working on, he had wrote me in documentaries, he had wrote me in other, work that had nothing to do with scripted content in television. But I started feeling like I didn't have a sense of agency. I didn't feel like I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I got to a point where I felt that I was doing a lot of everything else that he wanted than what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
So that's when Rhythm City came.
Oh.
Yeah, I had completely forgotten I had an agent, completely, because I was all over but acting. I was all over but acting, and I had auditioned for the I had auditioned maybe like twice.
Okay.
For the show, and at that particular time, I felt that I wasn't getting paid well. I really did. I kept on feeling like, oh my goodness, I do so much. Yes, I know you're mentoring me, but I feel like I'm playing here and I'm playing there. Surely I should be getting a little bit more. Surely, because now I know, like the budgets that are flying up and down, I'm part of, I can see how much is there. You know what I mean? I can see how much this project is costing. Like, give me some money, brother. You know what I mean? So I think I got to a point where I was just like, and I was confident with my relationship with him to say that. And then he was like, yeah, but no, whatever. And at that time, Rhythm City came. And my agent was like, this character is you. I'm telling you, if you don't get it, like, let's stop it.
Okay.
And I auditioned for Rhythm City. And like the next day, I got the part and I had to be on set the following day.
Okay.
And then I was like, deuces. And I think he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it because anyone from the outside felt that I had been given quite an opportunity to grow in production. I had gone from continuity to multicam directing. He was training me to be a producer. So it's such a fertile ground that why would you want to go act? You know what I mean? It was like, but why would you want to go act? And at that time, I felt that's probably what I needed to do. I wanted to be in control over where I was. And I felt that being an actor gave me that agency. And I'll be able to figure it out.
Beautiful.
So I think that's probably when it happened.
What was that period like of playing Nicki?
It was amazing. I loved it. I had no idea I was living in my prime. I had no And I'll tell you why. Yeah. Rhythm City was such an amazing show for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Firstly, I was in my roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s.
Yeah, I was in my roaring 20s. It was a youth-centric show where it was relevant, like it was just holding up a mirror. Yeah. For me to kind of see myself, right? I had been exposed to an ensemble of amazing cast. Oh, wow. Yeah. Who took the craft so seriously, like so seriously. True. And had themes that explored like ambition and like the music industry and and just having a passion for being an artist. So it was like, it was in the same WhatsApp group with like the environment that I kind of was like navigating, but now in a performance side. And I was lucky to be acting with such an amazing ensemble cast. Yeah. Like people that I grew up watching and I was like, oh my goodness, really? And I was acting with them. Or I had kind of watched them watch the show, and now I was part of the makeup. So that was a very fortunate time because I grew as an actor as well. I came to work always, prepared. Yeah. Like I understood how important it is for an actor to prepare. And not just come. It wasn't about the fame. It wasn't. So it was like kind of vibrating on the frequency that I knew I was kind of a part of. Yeah. It just came with that. The fact that you were in people's homes every day and people felt like they knew you, right? And then comes this character, Nicki, who's just spicy, like sugar and spice. Loved her. And she was a bit of my alter ego at that time because I barely like walked around with that kind of sass, So I used her to kind of like ventilate and just be that girl, I think we vibrated on the ambitious, because she was quite ambitious. She, by any means necessary, she was going to survive, So I loved those traits about her, and she was quite a complex character as well. And, she was like a scam artist when she came onto the show. And what's beautiful about that is that you get to play who you are scamming. Yeah. You play different. So from a writing perspective, the writers had so much fun with her because one minute I'm a young girl and, and then one minute I'm like, so I had like so much to play with all the time. So every time I read the thing, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Okay, cool. So I got a chance to be that with a lot of other characters. And you could tell the writers were having so much fun with her, you know? So that was quite a lovely time because I grew up on screen.
Yeah.
As well, because funny enough, she became a mom.
Yeah.
I became a mom while I was on screen as well. And you know, like actors, we always say, sometimes you read a script and you're like, who knows my story? Like, why does it feel like somebody knows what's happening? So a lot of the stories that were happening in her life were kind of mirroring mine. And the biggest thing that I connected with her is that she always was looking for a sense of belonging. Yeah, and she thought she was going to get it from a relationship.
Yeah.
And she thought, by hook or crook, this man is going to give it to me. You know, by hook or crook, this, you know, club that I'm working on is going to make me rich. You know what I mean? And she always looked for herself in external things. Yeah.
I hear you.
And I felt like a lot of what was being scripted was kind of mirroring me at that time because, like I said, I came from producing and being trained as a producer and not having, I wasn't charting my own path.
Yeah.
I was being influenced or kind of being shown what is available to me.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I had a mentor who said, you might not see it, but I see this in you. You might not, you know what I mean?
I hear
so
you.
I feel like Nicki, in a sense, also did that from a performance perspective to say, hey, you can access this, but you might not see it. You know, you wanna, yeah, you think you're an underdog. You want to stay an underdog, but you champion your own light. You know, and that's what she did. She was not trying to be an underdog. She was not trying to be an underdog. Yeah, so that for me was quite an interesting time.
So dope. If you can't get the shot on set, you can get it at Mad Show Library. We've got the best in stock footage and archive. Just go to www.madshowlibrary.com.
Yeah.
Which of the actors on set did you take from the most, learn from the most? And what is it that you learned from them?
Oh, I mean, most of them, but I would say Jamie Bartlett.
Rest easy.
Yeah.
Rest easy.
Jamie was amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, he was outside the box.
Tell us about it.
Literally, he was outside the box. Firstly, he was a genius at what he did.
Okay.
And he took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And he'd been doing it for as long as he could in his teens. So he had a great language for it. He had a great worldview for it. He was a very curious mind. So he brought that on set a lot. And he pushed and he pushed and he pushed. And and it's arguable, and maybe my colleagues from the show might think differently, but I think he played a lot.
Okay.
I think he played a lot. And he got a script and he was like, okay. And he knew what to say, like how to make it, turn it into, you know, a lot more authentic to the character he wanted to play. And I think he did that. So you found a lot of actors that came onto storylines where he was, and they'd get lost as he's acting because they're looking for the lines that they knew he was supposed to say. But he would come and he'd still give you the essence of the scene, but he would really go out of his way to add so much texture to his character, to, you know, and I think I learned not to be afraid to play. When I was acting very closely with him. And I trusted myself a little bit more, only because I respected him so much. And if he felt that I had dug a little deep, it meant a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, it meant a lot because then I felt like he could see the work, you know. And I'm just saying him, but, you know, there was many other cast members as well. Duduzi Mabaso, who is just so fantastic. Like guys, like seriously, really digs deep. Really, really digs deep. And you know, he also was somebody who I could lean on quite a bit as an actor who was young, because they were actually much older than me.
Yeah.
So having to always constantly be, because people, I meet people all the time and they're like, oh, mañana and you can imagine I was in my 20s and they were like in their mid or late 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
But we were peers on the show.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were very compassionate actors. Very compassionate actors. And they helped me build confidence in myself as an actor. And I hadn't been acting for 5 years before I got onto that screen, onto that set. It was quite a fortunate time that I was exposed to actors who understood how important it is to be that compassionate, because it's such a vulnerable space.
I hear you.
Such a vulnerable space.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Wow. That chapter eventually has to come to an end. And when it does, what's your plan? What are you doing after that?
I was lucky again because I had actually started a production company during varsity with Sihle.
Yeah. First episode of Filmatic.
Yeah. Amazing girl. Amazing. Always has been. But we had started a production company then. And we had documentaries that we were given and, without getting into it. And then when I was still training as a producer at Word of Mouth before I got into Rhythm City, I started another company with somebody else who I thought I was vibrating more with. And it was after doing a documentary on, at that time we were trusted with following the former president, Jacob Zuma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at that time, it was a developing project.
Okay.
And we were just trusted to follow him and research and, so it was a very interesting time at that. And I started being very interested in history, something that I never really was before.
Okay.
And how it was so important in my identity at that particular time. So when I started a company at that time, I was like, I want to, produce work that really ventilates our stories, our historical story, because I feel like people don't really know what really went down, So that's why I started that company at that particular time. And by the time it was Rhythm City, and I had been there for 7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you were there for a while.
I had been there for 7 years. I had realized that I was interested in being an actor. It was so much fun, but I felt like I had reached a little bit of my peak.
Okay.
And I felt like I needed to play a little bit more behind the scenes. Yeah, I felt like I had more to give. I felt that, and this is arguable, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
I do feel that having had come from production into acting, it made me a very production-friendly actor.
Oh.
Which I feel a lot of actors are missing when they haven't had an opportunity to understand the environment of production and what goes into it, and and knowing that you are definitely not bigger than the production. So when I was an actor and they had to drop scenes because an actor wasn't there, and they came to me and said, hey, listen, can we pick up, these 6 scenes? I would immediately say, yeah, if you can give me time. Because I understood what that meant for the schedule.
Yeah.
I understood what that meant for the bigger picture, So I felt that that's what being an actor coming into production afforded me. And I was able to appreciate the lens of production from an acting perspective, having had been trained before getting onto that set.
Incredible.
And then I felt, you know what? Now I kind of know that where I want to play is behind the scenes. And Kajeni at the time was saying to me, listen, stop acting, stop this Nicki thing. Stop this Nicki thing. You can't be Nicki forever. Come, let's do real work.
Yeah.
Let's do real work. Do you really, really want to produce? And I said, yes, I really do. And I think I've had time to play. And then he was like, cool, come. I resigned from Rhythm City to focus on producing.
Okay.
And within like 3 months, I had my first drama that he basically
Wow.
trusted me with, which was
Which drama is
unnerving.
this?
Ingozi.
Ingos.
Yeah.
How did that, your first time, you're a producer, you're in the thick of things.
Yeah. I mean, look, I produced like documentaries, which is a completely different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, like, I'm getting into scripted content.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of people who are involved.
Yeah.
All right. And when it's a very big production.
Okay.
Scripted content. And the process is completely different from development and sitting with writers and aiding, yourself in that, and then taking that and, being responsible for putting teams together.
Yeah.
The best team together
Yeah.
to be able to tell the story and managing that. And then, making sure that the story we intended on telling, we see through. And the story we intend on telling has commercial viability.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that you are trusted with that I felt I literally was learning on the job. I had been in aspects of production, having been trained and, but for the first time I had to look at the entire value chain and be responsible for it and not sit there and be like what he said or, okay, cool, should I speak now? No, everybody was, hey, so what are we going to do? Okay, cool. And Ingozi was interesting because it was an AFP.
What's an AFP?
An advertiser-funded production.
What is that?
Which means that you have an advertiser who's put money into the show. So if you have the Road Traffic Management Corporation, who have a campaign, a road safety campaign, and they want to be able to reach a certain audience and ventilate key messaging that are aligned with road safety using drama as a vehicle. So now it's not just telling stories and having characters, it's making sure that the stories you're telling ring true because people don't want to feel like they're being, you're preaching, but they're also learning. So that it was an AFP. So at that time, I was now also responsible to make sure that the money they had put was being well spent.
Okay.
And, the research that went into road safety was actually being realized in the story. And people were watching a story first. People were watching a story first before the messaging.
I hear you.
Yeah. So that was a big, big, big learning curve for me. Having been an actor for like 7 years, yes, I was kind of pushing a little bit of my projects with my company at that time, whether it was doing music videos for Mendoza or like Saifo, you know what I mean? Even though like I was kind of touching it here there, but I had never been trusted with a huge production on that scale. So that's what Ingozi was for me. Ingozi Shem, and it was working with people who had been doing it longer than I have.
Yeah.
So what happens is when you come and say it, it's like, Nicki batlang mo. So you had people who were like, okay. So the imposter syndrome that comes with that. Because yes, you have the guy at the top who says, you're going to do this because I believe in you. I've seen it. I've trained you and I understand what you're capable of. But he's not there when you're in pre-prod. He's not there in the writing room. He's not there on the floor. And I am learning it on the job.
True.
So if people are second guessing it, it's because they were watching Nicki and Safo for 7 years. So they know I haven't been doing this for as long as I have. So if I'm sitting there now and I'm saying, listen, yes, we're going to sign that off. No, that's not going to work. I'm also trying to understand that language and be confident in it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of navigating. It was such a tough time. Such a tough time. I had a lot of people who were just like,
Born na Nicki.
born. Safuka. You know what I mean? But I had the right people. And I always say, if you have the right person in the room looking after you, that's all you need.
True.
If the guy who is running or is responsible for that environment
Yeah.
is saying, I am not nervous, keep going.
Yeah.
And yes, you dropped the ball, keep going.
Mm.
If he is the one who is endorsing you, that's where you stay.
I hear you.
That's where you stay. That's what you amplify.
Yeah.
You know? And I was lucky that I had that, you know, because straight after that, he was like, great, you're done. Let's go to Mobango. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a much bigger beast.
Okay.
Yes, I started as an actress.
Yeah.
I'm only 29 years old.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a huge production. This is a long form.
Yeah.
It operates different. It's not a start and we finish and we go home. And once you've shot, we've shot.
Yes.
But more importantly, it was going through a very interesting time.
Okay.
So it had been on air for 19 years. And the lead at that time had left, was resigning to basically pursue another show. And she was going to be an executive producer. So when I joined, it literally was they were watching one episode where she was in hospital.
Okay.
And it was a Wednesday. And then the Thursday, they had 18 months later. So people were like, what is going on? What happened? Because they had to rejig. They had written ahead 3 months because now she had left. They had to rewrite, which is another beast, you know, and basically relaunch itself.
Okay.
So it was an interesting time, me firstly coming in when I've just only done my first scripted content,
Okay.
drama, and I'm like still healing. And now I'm coming in and I have to champion this very big show and make sure that we do not lose the audience, the loyal audience that have watched the show for 19 years.
Yes.
And how do you redefine and reintroduce stories that are relevant, but are also authentic to the world of story that is Mobango?
I hear you.
Right? And it was a very big job for me. I was just like, I thought I was just there just to make sure that everybody was standing on their mark. Because that's essentially what happens when you are running a long form. It runs itself, right? The systems that are in place basically kind of move the story along. So I felt that I would be coming in and everybody had been working on the show for as long as they have, and they kind of know it better than me. So what I wouldn't have that much of a big role to play. And in fact, I might be learning from them.
I hear you.
Little did I know that involved a turnaround strategy that now has to have a very intimate conversation with the broadcaster.
Oh, okay.
And they are like, okay, guys, this is a very big deal that's happening right now because the show moved from having 5 million plus viewers, and now we're kind of going down to 3 million, right? So we're losing. What's your plan? And I'm like, our plan is, what's our plan? You know what I mean? And now now the vulnerability of that imposter syndrome that I champion and I saw through Ingos, and I came out on the other side and I actually did well. Now the light was harsher.
Yeah.
You know, now it was okay, cool. What do you mean these stories are relevant? Are you sure you understand what Mobango is about? Do you understand our audience? So now I was learning other skills. So I was in the deepest of deepest end, having had, you know, been put in this position. And not because he, being my executive producer, thought I was great, but because I had a job on my hand.
Yeah.
On my hands. So that was a very interesting time because then I started learning new things about the industry, the broadcasting part of things.
Yeah.
Like audience.
Okay.
And how important your audience is.
Okay.
And why a story is very significant to reaching that particular audience. And how do you sustain that audience? And also understanding what audience translates into from a broadcasting perspective and why the numbers matter, right? And why what you're saying to me sounds great for you sitting in the coffee shop, but that story is not going to hit the mark.
I hear you.
People are not going to watch that. What do you mean you understand the essence of what the story is supposed to say? You know, it's supposed to say something that resonates with our audience, but it should also attract advertising. We must not lose money as a broadcaster. You know, so it was understanding that part of the value chain that I've never really had to play in. You know, so even understanding what a turnaround strategy, you know, entails, and going on the ground and doing voxies and, you know, understanding who the audience are and whether or not the stories are relevant anymore. Because, you know, yes, it's a show and of you know, lived experience of Black people.
Yeah.
You know, where tradition is at the center of that. But what does that look like for a young person, you know, and without alienating the older audience who want to have their traditions amplified, and so that we're not losing that essence. But how are you still speaking to somebody who's in their roaring 20s? You know what I mean? Because that audience is just as important. Why? Because there's now Rhythm City, there's Scheme Sam, there's a lot of other shows that are pulling that audience. So part of the numbers, yes, our makeup of our story is changing because now we're 18 months later, but also we're losing the other audience that's going to the other new dramas. So how do you keep those people, you know? So it was a very interesting time, and I learned a lot, and I was fortunate that I had an executive producer that says, yes, you dropped the ball here, but keep going. Because I don't know many executive producers who will pay you to do a job you've never done before and still keep making mistakes, but they're like, keep going. And my language for producing came out of working on Mobango. I learned the most. I learned what not to do. I learned what works, what doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, I learned where do I go to figure out where it went wrong. You know what I mean? So I'm a very systematic person, creative. So what I understand, and I get very excited about being in the story room and why we're telling the story and why this character, I'm, you know, obsessed with systems and making sure that we have a way of doing things and we have a way of doing it on time and we understand the implications of that. And Mobango taught me that. It also taught me having a sense of ownership in what I do, because you can't always be like, dude, you know, you have to make a choice. And it's not always going to be the right choice, but you have to make a decision. You have to also get the best team and work with people that you're going to learn from. Don't be intimidated by that. Just because they know that you haven't been doing it for a long time is not actually the problem. It's saying, yes, I haven't been doing that, but show me again, why does this work? Okay, cool. And having those conversations and people seeing that you are learning on the job and you're not afraid to show that you are learning on the job. But I'm going to get to a point where I understand when I'm making this decision, I've thought it out, right? So I think I basically learned leadership from the inside. So I wasn't leading from the front and I was like, well, listen, and I wasn't really at the back. I was literally relying and leaning on my peers to kind of help me, show me the ropes. And I think my language as a producer grew a lot from working on Mobile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. At Metro, we believe that storytellers change the world, and we would like to give you the right tools to accomplish this mission. For all your gear rental needs, go to www.metro.co.za or send us an email at rentals@metro.co.za. What do you say to that young producer who has a massive project on their hands and it is their first time, even first-time actors, just going into it? What would you say to them? Just advise them.
Well, I think the one thing that I have learned, having had work from one show to another, is that you're as good as your team. number one.
True.
Like, you are as
Salute.
good as your team.
Salute, yeah.
And know who's your team. Know who's vibrating on the same frequency you're vibrating.
Yeah.
Because they have a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
So you're not micromanaging people. You're not saying, are you sure you're still standing on that mark? They are not sleeping at night as much as you are, because it means the same thing to them to see this thing through.
Yeah.
So have and recognize who that team is. And network across. You know, I think this digital acceleration that's happened has just really changed the game, because you can shoot your own drama on your phone and you have create your own distribution environment and, you know, launch your own show on Instagram and TikTok and have a following and find a way to monetize it. So it's changed how we move. It's changed where the budgets go. Because if somebody can create a content with just their phone, why am I giving you $1 million to tell the story?
Yeah.
You know, so it's changed the conversation about things like that. So network across, it's resource. The fact that I can come to you and say, Q, I have this idea, I just don't have the money. Are you, number one, connecting with what I want to do? And if you are, I don't have the money. Is it something that you would like to invest in as well? Come on board. We want to network up. We want to go to the person who's already like doing it on a much larger scale. We're writing non-stop emails about, please, can you do? Meanwhile, it's your peer. It's somebody who you have access to that you can start this thing and get this thing going. So don't wait. Have a sense of agency. Write and put out there and test the market. You can test it on a digital platform now. You don't have to be waiting for a big broadcaster or a streaming service to recognize your idea. You can script it and then put it together and shoot it. You don't have to have an agent. Yes, have an agent, but you can audition online. So come up with scripts that you've seen, or like a scene that Nicki did and you're like, I want to do that scene. And then you rehearse it and you upload it and you make sure that somebody sees it. Have a sense of agency. That's what has happened with the industry. It's taught us that you've got to, being a creative means you have to create opportunities for yourself. You're actually an entrepreneur. You have to create work for yourself and you have to create work for other people. And I think that's my biggest lesson. And don't wait until you have no choice but to do it. Jump before you get pushed. Don't wait until that contract is done and you're like, flip. I was working on Mobango for 5 years. Now I don't know where to go. Don't wait for that. Find out what your voice is. Find out the story you want to tell. And then find out who else is interested in that story. And then, you know, make it happen.
I hear you.
Make it happen.
I'm going to close it now on that beautiful, amazing, wise note. B? Please help me out, yeah? Alrighty. Made them magically appear.
Aww.
We'd like to give you your flowers, literally and figuratively.
Thank you. I absolutely love flowers.
Yes.
I appreciate this platform. I think you guys are doing amazing work. You're giving us an opportunity to reflect. Because as creatives, we don't have enough time to see how far we've come and to understand the importance of empowering people through our journeys. So I appreciate this so much.
We appreciate you. The industry appreciates you. Everyone who's seen you on and off the screen appreciates you. Not just your kids there at home. We all do. And we love you. We thank you. Keep on being great.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. It feels good every day when every African turns and shines my way. All my brothers from Zaire, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. Oh man, it feels good.
For more amazing content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And please follow us on all our social media pages. Love.